So, how exactly do I make my tutorials? This is actually a question that was asked, not exactly in those words, by Jack Irish. And I just thought, I've never really talked about how I do the tutorials. How exactly do I figure out what I'm doing and all that stuff? Well, for my easy Minecraft tutorials, I am going through every block, every mob, every biome, every item that you can find in the game, one by one. My goal is to cover every single aspect of the game and have it in video form so that you can follow along easily. That's basically the point of it. The point of all of it. So, first of all, I decide on the tutorial topic. That depends on the mood that I'm in. Sometimes I want to do something short, like if I don't have much time. I may choose something that is fairly simple. If I want to do something that is a little bit more involved, then I will choose a more complicated topic. However, if it's getting close to an update, I will be working on everything that's in the update. And that's what I'm working on right now for the Copper Age update. I believe my next tutorial is going to be the shelf. So I'm going to get to work on that fairly soon. So the second stage is I research the topic using various sources. Now the main one that I use is the Minecraft Wiki. Now this is Minecraft.wiki, not the fandom wiki, which is just absolutely filled with ads. I prefer the actual Minecraft.wiki. And that usually has everything in it, but not always. So that brings me to number 3. I try out everything and I test different things. Sometimes there are things that I know were not in the wiki, and I will try it out. But I tend to look around. I'll do searches on what may be in that thing that I'm doing, whatever the topic is, and I will make sure that everything works. And that is very important. Fourth, I make a rough script. It's mostly just point form. I just want to make sure I'm covering every aspect of whatever I'm covering. And yes, some of these things are really obvious, but keep in mind that I'm doing these tutorials mainly for beginners, although experienced players do use them as well. Some of these things are actually things that may be early game and someone just happens to not play early game that often. Or they've been in a world for so long that they've forgotten how to play early game. It happens. And so I make sure that I have every aspect of that feature or that topic covered, no matter how simple it may be. Number 5, I then record, going through each aspect of the topic, and I do it in logical sections. So what is it? Where is it? How do you find it? How do you craft it if you can? And sometimes you have to obtain it in other ways. And how to use it. And some other facts about it, just in case they are important and needed. Because you never know. You never know what you will need to know about it, right? 6th, I then take a picture of the thumbnail. Well, for the thumbnail. And that's a very simple one. Number 7, I edit the video and export. The editing does involve music. I used to do some text. Depends on what it is. If it's like enchantments, I want to have some information on screen. And I have put text on as well for other things, but lately, instead of that, I've been putting the text on signs and just having them on screen. I actually find that easier. That's a lot easier to deal with. And yeah, that's about it for that. And then, of course, number 8, I make the thumbnail. And sometimes I make 3 thumbnails and upload all of them. Use the A/B testing. And finally, I upload. Well, I should mention that during the upload, I do write the description and the title. I like to keep the titles fairly simple and straightforward, especially for tutorials. You know, like how to find and craft, or how to craft and use something, or everything you need to know about some topic, like a biome, for example. And so that's what I do. That's how I make my tutorials. Now, the thing is, the vast majority of the tutorials are for aspects of the game that that are fairly basic. Now, am I going to do anything that's a little bit more complicated or complex? Yeah, most likely I will. And some of them may, well, actually, for this next update, I'm going to be including something that is normally only used in creative or with commands, and that is the mannequin. I think that it's a really interesting feature that I would like to include. And this one is going to be a little bit more involved because I have to learn all of the commands for it. There's a lot to know for this, and let me just say that the wiki sucks for this. It doesn't really tell much. So I'm going to have to rely on other sources for research for this, as well as testing. And yeah, that's going to be one of the few things where you can only use it use in creative, although I have done some things in the past, especially with potions or effects that are only available in creative. So that is one thing. Future, well, let me just say I used to do a tutorial series that was a Let's Play as well, so survival tutorial, and also a medieval build tutorial. I'm trying to do realistic, at least as close as you can get to realistic. However, I ended up stopping that one because I was stuck on something, and that happens to be the towers on city walls. Like, what's inside those? I want to know what's inside those, and I did so much research. I looked at YouTube videos, I did Google searches, I looked at as many, like, I was looking for schematics, I was looking for photos or models or whatever of what the interior of the towers looks like. I did find a video of someone going on a tour around a city wall, but unfortunately the inside of the towers were all modernized. It doesn't help. So yeah, again, I will probably eventually get back to that series because those videos did fairly well, and I think it would be fun to actually build out this city, and it's all in creative, of course. But yeah, that is what I plan on doing with tutorials in the future. I'd like to do more strategy-based tutorials, and I actually did start a strategy guide. Episode 1 was how to survive your first day, or the first night. I am going to continue that. I do plan on continuing that, and I was wanting to continue that quite some time ago, but for some reason I just never did. But I'll get back to it. And they're fairly simple, very short, and I cover a very specific aspect. The next video in that series is going to be about starter houses. And it's going to be basic. It's going to go through everything you really need, absolutely need. So yeah, I am going to try to work on all those, and of course, over the next couple of weeks, we're going to have an update very, very soon, so I need to get all of the 1.21.9 aspects or features done, and I better get to work on it, because you know what's likely going to be the big videos? Shelves and copper golems. I haven't done them yet. The shelf is next, though. But there are some other copper related things. I may redo the lightning rod, but I'm not sure. I may just add some text to the or just add a comment on that video. The copper video is going to be completely redone because there's so many new things added, and this is going to be the third version of the copper video. That's going to be fun. All right. So let me know if you have any questions about any other aspects of tutorial videos that I do. So let me know in the comments below. If you like videos like this and would like to see some more, then please consider subscribing to this channel as well as my main one, which is where my tutorials are. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.